You slide out of your mother, somewhere in eastern Australia, and you're blind and the size of a jelly bean, but your front claws are already working, so you start crawling. There's no pouch opening above you yet, just your mother's fur stretching upward in every direction, and you grip it with your claws and pull yourself forward with your arms doing all the work while your back legs trail behind you. The climb takes several minutes, but you find the opening and pull yourself inside. Weeks pass in the pouch. Then one morning you push your head out for the first time and there are branches above you and open air on every side. With your mother sitting wedged in the fork of a eucalyptus tree 30 feet off the ground. You grip her fur tighter and don't move for a long time, just looking at everything around you. But the branches are right there, so after a while you reach out and grab one with your front claws. It bends under your weight and pulls you sideways, and for a moment your grip on your mother loosens and your body swings out over the drop. You scramble back and press yourself flat against her chest. A few days later you try again, this time gripping with both hands before committing your weight. The branch holds. You pull yourself onto it and stand there on your own for the first time, with your mother sitting just behind you and not moving to help. You take 2 steps along the branch before it narrows and you climb back to her. That's your first time standing somewhere that isn't her. You're not ready to go further yet, but your claws remember how the bark felt, and the next time will be easier. You're 6 months old now, and you're riding on your mother's back instead of sitting in her pouch, with your claws gripping her fur while she climbs between branches. She stops at a branch covered in leaves and starts eating, pulling a stem toward her with one hand and stripping the leaves off with her teeth. You watch her do it several times, then you reach out and grab a leaf yourself and push it into your mouth. But your body can't handle it yet, so you spit it out and grab another one, trying again with the same result. Eucalyptus leaves are toxic enough to kill most animals, but koalas have a gut full of bacteria that breaks the poison down. The problem is that you don't have those bacteria yet, so your mother starts producing a soft substance from her body that she passes directly to you. You eat it without hesitation, and inside your gut the bacteria from her body start building a colony of their own. A few days pass, and then a few more, and your gut is slowly changing, so you reach for a leaf again. This time you chew it all the way through and swallow it and keep it down. That's the first thing you've ever eaten that didn't come directly from your mother's body. After that, you eat a little more each day, with your mouth working through leaves while she feeds beside you on the same branch. You're still riding on her back between trees, and still sleeping pressed against her. But the leaves are yours now, and you're getting better at finding the right ones to pick. You're not ready to climb on your own yet, but that's coming. And when it does, you'll need to find your own tree to do it in. You're 12 months old now, and your mother has started leaving you on a branch while she moves to a nearby tree to feed on her own. At first, the gaps are short, just a few minutes with her in the next tree and you watching her from where she left you. But the gaps get longer each day, so you start climbing on your own to follow her, gripping the trunk with your claws and pulling yourself up branch by branch until you reach her. She lets you press against her for a while, then moves again. Then one day she crosses a gap that's too wide for you to follow and doesn't come back. You wait on the branch with your claws wrapped around the bark, watching the tree she moved to. After a long while, you climb down the trunk to the ground, cross the open gap between the trees, and pull yourself up into hers. But when you reach her, she turns her body away and blocks you with her side. You try to climb around her, and she pushes back with one arm, so you drop to a lower branch and sit there on your own. That's the moment the separation starts. Over the following weeks, she moves further each time, so you spend more of each day in your own section of the tree, eating on your own and choosing your own branches to rest in. Your climbing gets stronger, and your route between trees gets faster. By the end of the month, you're in your own tree most of the day, with your mother in a nearby one, but no longer within reach. You've got a small patch of trees now, and they're enough for the moment, but you're getting bigger, and a bigger body needs more leaves than this small patch can keep giving you. 2 years old now, and the trees you've been using aren't giving you enough anymore. You need more leaves than this small patch can produce, so you climb down to the ground and start moving through the grass in a wide arc, covering more distance than you ever have, with your claws pulling you forward in a slow, lumbering walk. After a while, you find a large eucalyptus with thick branches and good coverage, exactly what you need, so you grab the trunk and start pulling yourself up. But there's already a koala in it. An older male, bigger than you, sitting wedged in a fork halfway up the trunk with his chest pressed against the bark. You keep climbing anyway, trying to reach a branch above him. He turns his head toward you and opens his mouth wide, then pushes himself off his fork and starts climbing up toward you with his claws grinding into the bark. You hold your position, trying to wait him out, but he keeps coming, so you drop to a lower branch. He follows, so you drop again and land on the ground below the tree. That's his tree. You move on. 2 more trees have the same problem, with other koalas already sitting in the best forks and watching you climb toward them. So you push further out, past the edges of the area you know, moving through open ground and into a stretch of trees you've never used before. You find a tall eucalyptus with no marks on the trunk and nobody sitting in the branches above. You need to claim it before anyone else does. So you press your chest against the bark and drag yourself downward along the trunk, leaving your scent in a long line from top to bottom. That's your first tree. But one tree won't be enough for long, so you'll need to keep pushing your range wider. 3 years old, and the trees across your range have started thinning out. The leaves are still there, but there are fewer of them on each branch, so you have to move between trees more often, just to get enough to eat each day. You spend more time on the ground than usual, crossing between patches with your body low and your claws pulling you forward as fast as you can manage. The ground is where you're most exposed, so you get up into the next tree as quickly as you can each time. Then one afternoon you need water, which almost never happens. Eucalyptus leaves carry enough moisture to keep a koala going through most conditions. But the leaves on your trees have dried out enough that your body needs more than they can give. So you climb down and follow a creek bed to a low point where a small pool of water has collected between the roots of two trees. You drop your head toward it and drink with your front paws braced against the ground. That's when you notice another koala already there, a young female drinking from the other side of the pool. You both stay still for a moment with your heads close to the water. Then she lifts her head and looks at you. You drink a little more and she drinks a little more and neither of you moves off. Then she climbs the tree on her side of the creek and you climb yours, and that's it. But you've seen her before. She's been moving through the edge of your range for a few weeks now, using trees just outside the ones you've marked. She keeps getting closer, and you keep letting her. You're 3 years old and fully grown. The next thing your body is ready for isn't food or territory. It's something else entirely. Skip forward a bit, and you're 4 years old now, and the female from the creek has been moving through your range every few days, using trees along your boundary and staying just long enough for you to notice. Today, she's in one of your marked trees, sitting in a fork near the top with her back to you. You need her to know this is your range, so you climb up the same trunk and press your chest against the bark just below her, dragging yourself down slowly and leaving a fresh line of scent over the old one. She doesn't move off. That's new. Over the next few weeks, you start crossing into her range too, marking trees on her side of the boundary and sitting in forks near where she feeds. She lets you get closer each time, and one afternoon you end up in the same tree, 2 forks apart, both eating from the same branch with your heads working through the leaves in the same direction. That's the closest you've been to another koala since your mother. A few weeks later, the joey appears, a tiny head pushing out of her pouch with its claws already gripping her fur, just like you did 4 years ago. You watch it from the next branch with your body still and your eyes on it. It reaches out toward a leaf, misses, and pulls its head back inside. So now it's your range and hers, and the joey is in it too. You keep marking your trees, and she keeps using them, and the 3 of you move through the same patch of bush without crossing each other's space too often. You've built something here, but holding on to it is a different problem, and there are other males moving through the area who have already noticed her. 5 years old now, and the joey has been pushing its head further out of the pouch every day, grabbing at branches with its front claws and pulling itself halfway out before dropping back in. Today it comes all the way out and climbs onto her back for the first time, with its claws gripping her fur and its body pressed flat against hers while she moves between branches. It's small enough that she barely slows down, but she picks her roots more carefully now, choosing wider branches and skipping the thinner ones she used to cross without thinking. You stay close to her tree more than you used to, marking the trunks around her and keeping other males further back from her range. One afternoon, a younger male climbs into the tree directly above her, while the joey is out on her back. So you climb up from the other side and place yourself between him and her fork with your chest pressed against the trunk and your body blocking his path down. He waits for a while, trying to find a way around you, but you hold your position so he eventually climbs back down and moves off through the grass. A few weeks later, the joey starts reaching for leaves on its own, pulling stems toward its mouth and chewing through them with its small teeth. It spits the first few out, just like you did, so she starts passing it the bacteria it needs, the same way your mother once did for you. You watch from the next branch with your body still. By month 10, the joey is riding on her back instead of sitting in the pouch, and it's getting heavy enough that she moves slower between trees. It watches everything she does, every route she takes and every branch she picks. Soon it will start picking its own. You're 9 years old, and you're crossing open ground between 2 trees on a dry afternoon when a shadow drops across the grass in front of you. You look up, and a wedge-tailed eagle is already coming down with its wings pulled in tight and its talons reaching forward. You spin and try to get back to the tree behind you, with your claws pulling at the ground as fast as they can. But the eagle is faster, so it pulls up at the last second and drives both talons into your back, slamming your body flat against the ground. You push against the grip with your front legs bracing into the dirt and your claws scraping forward, trying to drag yourself out from under it. But the eagle drops its full weight down over you, pinning your body so your legs stop pushing and your claws scratch the ground without moving anything. You lift your head once, with your front claws still pressed into the dirt, then the eagle strikes once at the base of your skull and your head drops. You don't move again. The eagle stands on top of you for a long moment with its wings half open, looking across the clearing in every direction. Then it starts to feed. Up in the tree at the edge of the clearing, the female sits in her fork with the joey gripping her chest. She watches the clearing below without moving. After a while, she turns and climbs higher into the branches above her, with the joey's small claws tightening around her fur as she goes. Then she moves to the next tree, and the next one after that, until the clearing is out of sight behind her. You spent 9 years building a life in these trees. She'll spend the next few years teaching your Joey how to live in them.